The New Orleans Saints have now won 4 consecutive games for the first time in 5 years. Oh, you knew that already? Okay, well, how about the fact that this team can become the first in franchise history to win their final 5 games since arguably the most talented Saints team did it in 2011? Still not impressed? Well, how about we tell you something about how Tyler Shough has done something only 2 other Saints quarterbacks have ever, and I mean ever done before. Well, before when? He's the only one not named Drew Brees. We have lots of fun stuff to talk about on this Mano E Monday, and we have the penultimate Derry's Dime of the season to go with Gabe and I previewing the CFP quarterfinals and the last Monday Night Football game of the year. Speaking of finales, it's the final live DAT of the year of 2025, and it starts right now.
If you're looking for the latest scoop and in-depth interviews on the Saints, the NFL, the Pelicans, LSU, along with the best bets of the week, then lucky you. Along with high-powered, in-the-know guests who cover our teams, Jim Derry brings plenty of dattitude. And he'll always tell you the way it is, or at least the way he thinks it is.
Where you at, Dattitude family? Did you have any fun on Sunday watching your New Orleans Saints? The only way you didn't have any fun is if you're still talking about the T word. You can give that crap up, dude. That's over a long time ago. The Saints finished the month of December an undefeated 4-0. How about that? I mean, how about that? Did you even think that was possible? Going into December, if I would have told y'all, I mean, a couple of y'all high pie in the sky people, if I had told you the Saints were going to go 4-0 in December, you'd have told me I was insane. I mean, maybe I am insane, but you know what else is insane? How about Dattitude, episode number 456, presented by Evangeline Securities for a Monday, the final Mano E Monday of 2025. It is December the 29th. 2025. I'm your host, Jim Derry, 35 plus years on the New Orleans sports media scene. I thank you for being a part of the Dat family. We are going to have some fun on this Monday. We're going to be taking your comments. What is different about this show? If you're new here and you're like, what the hell's going on with this? If you're new, what's different about this show than the other shows? Well, there's a lot that's different because, you got a quirky host, that's for sure. But one thing that's different about us that's kind of separates apart from a lot of the other shows is that we take your comments. I can't show every comment anymore. I used to be able to show every comment. I can't do that anymore. But we show most of them, especially at least one from everybody. If I don't show at least one from everybody, it means that either you're a moron, you're an absolute moron, which we get them from time to time. We're still working on our dumbass of the year, by the way. That's coming up on Wednesday in the daddies. But you're either just absolutely silly and you're trying to troll, or I just missed it. Those are really the only 2 ways that your comment's not going to get shown on the show, at least one of your comments. And so we're going to do all that today, again, on this Mano E Monday. If you wonder what Mano E Monday is, that's what it is. You talk to us, we talk back to you. Gabe will be coming on the show later on this morning. Maybe it might even be this afternoon when he comes on. By then, we'll talk CFP. He may have something to say about Saints. Who knows? Gabe says whatever comes into his mind, and we just have fun with it. That'll be later this afternoon. And we'll give you our CFP predictions. We'll give you our Monday Night Football predictions. All that coming up later on. If you want to get in touch with me, if you're listening after the fact, you know how to do it. You can find me on X at Jim Derry Jr. Email me, jim@jimderry.com. And if you haven't subscribed to the Dattitude YouTube page, please do so. Please take a second. I had some people... you can't call it a podcast if you're on YouTube. I can call it whatever the hell we want, right? We can do whatever we want. So it is a podcast. Somebody actually said that. It's on YouTube. It's not a podcast. Yes, it is. But if you don't want to call it a podcast, you don't have to. That's what we're going to call it. What'd y'all do this weekend other than obviously watch the Saints on Sunday? Let me know in the comments. We'll talk about that. I had one of those. I needed a break. I really did. And I wish I would have spent more time working. I wish I could tell you that I sat here and I worked all weekend, but I really didn't. I worked a little bit yesterday, but Saturday, for the most part, I took off. I needed some time away from this computer, man. it's been a long grind the last couple months for sure. It's been a fun grind. It's certainly been a fun grind as you come along with us in our independent days. But we're going to, do our thing. But I needed a couple days off, and so I took them. Again, I did a short yesterday that I, had 15,000 views across 3 platforms as of this morning. So I thank y'all for taking a look at it. All kinds of people I've never heard of commenting. That's a great thing. I'm trying to comment back as many as I can. There's so many comments now. It's hard to miss them sometimes. So I'm trying to comment back to everything. My wife gets on me. You got to comment. If they leave you a comment, you got to talk back. I'm trying, but we will show them all on the show today. We're not going to spend a whole lot of time talking about LSU, but LSU and the Texas Bowl, they fall 38-35. No defense, which was kind of the surprise. They did have offense, which is even a bigger surprise. I got to say, Michael Van Buren, although he's not I don't think anyone thinks he's the future quarterback for the Fighting Tigers of LSU, but you got to say, there's no question that was his best game as a Tiger. 16 of 26 for 267 yards, 3 touchdowns, but he was outshined by the Houston quarterback, Connor Wegman, who threw 4 touchdowns, 236 yards. How about Dean Connors rushing for 126 yards and a touchdown? Yeah, I would have told you would not have. If you would have told me they were going to have that Houston was going to have a passer that threw for 4 touchdowns and have a running back that ran for 126 yards and a score, I would have said, well, okay, well, that's easy. LSU's going to get their ass kicked. They did not get their asses kicked. They played very well, as a matter of fact. As well as they could. I got to give a golf clap to Frank Wilson. They could have laid down and died. They did not. But we're just not going to spend a whole lot of time talking about LSU this morning. So if you want to say something in the comments about it, feel free. We'll show it. Last night, boy, this whole season of NFL football has just been outstanding. I mean, it really has. It's just been it's been the craziest, zaniest season to date, and I got a feeling we're going to see some more. Did you watch the game last night? It was only the second time in NFL history that you had a team go. It went from 7-0 to 7-7 to 14-7 to 14-14 to 21-14 to 20, all the way to 35. 35-35, and finally San Francisco won it 42-38 last night. And Caleb Williams, I give him grief, but I thought he played very, very well last night. The Bears played very well. San Francisco don't have a defense. I think both of those teams showed you why I don't think either one of them have a realistic chance to win the Super Bowl. I don't really think either one of them have a realistic chance to win the conference because they don't have neither one of those have a real defense. Let's just be honest. San Francisco missing Fred Warner and Joey Bosa. That is a huge loss, obviously, for them. Can Brock Purdy take that team on his shoulder? Maybe. I guess anything can happen in a short tournament. The Bears are going to fold. I know. I keep saying them. They keep playing well, and even in a loss, they impressed me in a loss last night. So we'll see what happens. I'm not gonna give any spoiler alerts and tell you who I like just yet. Maybe we'll give our Super Bowl predictions. Gabe and I will do that next Monday. We'll give you our early Super Bowl predictions next Monday night. Tonight is the last Monday night football game of the year. So by the time we're on here a week from today at this time, on what is that? January the 5th is Monday. I think it's the 5th, 4th or 5th, whatever day it is. We will have where everyone's seated. We'll give you our Super Bowl predictions. Maybe, who knows? But we got a whole week to do that. All right, time to get into the comment stream. So we start Mano E Monday, and you know what the deal is. You know what the deal is here on Mano E Monday. At some point, and then I did my dime a little bit too late last week. So at some point, I'm going to interrupt the comments and give you my dime. And if you don't know what Derry's dime is, it is when I give you my only scripted portion of the show. It is my take on what happened yesterday, and it's kind of. I'll give you a spoiler alert. Today's dime isn't necessarily on what happened yesterday. I think we all know what the story of where we are right now. It's not just that the Saints won, they're 4-0. It's why, how, what, where, the old journalistic, the what, how, what, when, where, who. Well, the who is Tyler Shough. I keep trying to say, I don't want to keep putting the same title slide up there. I don't want to keep, it's hard not to put Tyler Shough on the title slide over and over again. That's not necessarily what I want to do. But how can you not as we move on into the show here? In fact, before we do that, before I even get to the comments, because we're gonna get right into it. Before I tell you about the rest of the show, let me tell you about our friends at Evangeline Securities. You know them. Of course, they're a company that can help you decide if it's the right time to sell your family-run or privately held business. And just as importantly, they can figure out what that business is worth. That's you. That's someone you know. It's time to reach out to Evangeline's founding partner, Nick Braden. He will start by scheduling a complimentary valuation from their offices, either on Poydras Street or in Lafayette. And from there, you will be well informed to begin to make the decision on if you want to proceed. What happens after that? You keep trying to jump to the rest of your life. We got a little ways to go before we get to the rest of your life. Hang on. In the meantime, you can check them out at www.evangelinesecurities.com. We also got another friend of the show. You know him by now. If you don't know him, we're going to tell you about him right now. If you own a small business of fewer than 20 employees, you know how tough it is to get the best rates on health insurance. That's why you want to call Joe DiStefano Insurance. Joe and I have known each other for almost 40 years. I can tell you that he's someone that I trust. Look, health insurance shouldn't be one size fits all. And with Joe DiStefano, you get access to PPO networks and flexible plans designed to fit you, not just a cookie cutter mold. Joe's licensed, he's local, but he can help you no matter where you live and operate. From preventative care to peace of mind, we'll tailor a plan that works for your life today and tomorrow. Call Joe DiStefano at 504-234-2132 to protect what matters most. All right, let's get to the comment stream. What y'all got to say on this Mano E Monday? Cedric Bolo's first. Good morning, Dad fam. Want to apologize about Jawan Johnson. He's been playing real good. Can't wait to see what he will look like next year when all of our top receivers come back off this injured list. And you know they're going to add somebody. By the way, not to stir the pot, I guess. Maybe I am trying to stir. I don't know. Whatever. How about that Chris Olave, boys and girls? You haters out there. Y'all still hating on Chris Olave? He's one touchdown away from doing something. If you missed my short yesterday, I'll give you one little clip from it. Chris Olave with one touchdown against Atlanta next week will become the first Saint ever, 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 to have 100 receptions or more. It's going to be more because he's got 100 right now. Over 1,000 receiving yards. That he's already got that. He needs one more touchdown. 100 receptions, 1,000 receiving yards plus 10 receiving touchdowns. First Saint that would ever do that. Not Michael Thomas, not Marcus Colston, not Eric Martin, not go back into the history of Saints receivers. There haven't been a ton of great ones. In the grand scheme of things, there haven't been a ton of great ones. But go back and pick out any Saints. No, none of them have ever done. Go ahead, look. We'll wait for you. No, we're not going to wait for you. I'm telling you, it's never happened. Tyler Shough, Chris Olave is going to catch a touchdown pass next week, and he's going to do it. And even if he doesn't do it, he's going to finish with over 100 receptions, and he's going to finish with over 1,200 receiving yards, maybe over 1,300 receiving yards. And I still got numbnuts yesterday on the feed who are still trying to diss on him. They're still trying to hate on Chris Olave, and I don't get it. You're a moron. If you're still hating on, if you still think Chris Olave is not a water, now you may want somebody that's better than him, and okay, that's fine. You're probably not going to get one. But if you think Chris Olave is not a WR1, you are insane. You need to just stop hating. Stop hating. Just stop hating. Breaking news. Gabe Henderson puts on here. Marcus Freeman says he will return to Notre Dame amid all the NFL speculation. He's not going anywhere, boys and girls. He's staying at Notre Dame. I don't think that's a huge surprise. He'll leave eventually. Maybe next year. Charles Mangus, good morning. Saints played as a complete team yesterday. There's no question about it. We still need a running back in the draft. Absolutely. Sunday's game between the Bears and Niners was one for the ages. There's a lot of games that were games for the ages. I mean, the Bears played a game that was a game for the ages the week before that. How about the Bills and Eagles? Maybe played a game for the ages. Yes, sort of. Josh Allen missed on the 2-point conversion. I'm telling you right now. Y'all with them Bills tickets, don't go buy a Bills ticket. If you have one already, just hope. We'll see. Charles says if Saints go 7-10 and buy me a bottle of Jameson, get ready. I'm not going to say no. Gary, good morning on this chilly morning. It is chilly again. We almost forgot what chilly was like. It's been so warm the last week. In the first half, the Saints appear to be sleepwalking. That changed in the second half and proved that the better team won. 34-26. 34-26. Gabe, can you look this up for me? I think this is true. That the last time the Saints scored 34 points in a game was week 2 of 2024. That was when they did back-to-back wins, those wins against Carolina and Dallas. I'm pretty sure that was the last time they scored 34 or more. Gabe's going to look it up for me. But to go that long without scoring 34 points, and they have been improving every game. That's, spoiler alert, part of my dime is not just Tyler Shough, but the improvement of Tyler Shough and how they keep. It's about how they do it. Where had they come from since Tyler Shough started that first game against the Rams and then got his first win? 17 points, now 34. I don't care if it's against the Titans. It doesn't matter who it's against. It really doesn't. It doesn't matter who it's against. No, they score. Oh, that's right, Gabe. Thank you. He corrected me. 35 against Cleveland in week 11 of last year. I forgot about that game. The Jameis Winston game. They had a lot of fun. We all had a lot of fun with that one. That was a fun game. UBN's here. Good morning, Who Dat Nation. Can we all just agree to put the Saints in the playoffs rather than the Bucs or the Panthers? I wish it worked that way. Because I don't think, I mean, we've seen it. We know that the Saints are better than the Bucs and Panthers right now. Oh, my goodness. The Panthers hung around with the Seahawks for a while. It was 3-3 at halftime. You want to talk about bad football. But yeah, I ended up getting crushed in that pick. I'll just tell you, I have not been as good as I was. I am the opposite of the Saints, okay? Until December, I was fantastic with my picks. In December, I was awful. So maybe January will turn the page. I don't know. But I was awful in December with my picks. I went 1-2 again in my best bets. The one that I got right was actually fairly easy. It was never really threatened. I had the under 34.5 in the Steelers-Browns game. But with my luck, I was sitting there watching the end of that game. I'm like, the Steelers are going to go tie this thing up. It's going to be 13-13. It's under 34.5. Then they'll go into overtime. Somebody will score a touchdown, and then the other team will come back and score a touchdown and whatever. I was sure I was going to find a way to lose that game. But then, no, didn't happen. And then the Packers, Ravens, what was I thinking there? I must not have been thinking. I must not. I mean, jeez. Terrible division, though. I mean, the NFC South is just absolutely, there's no question it's the worst division in football right now. I mean, there are a couple bad divisions in football, but that's absolutely the worst division in football. I don't think there's any question about it. Even the what is it? Which AFC North is terrible too. It's not as bad as the NFC South. Brian Cavett is here. Happy Who Dat Monday. Well, that was some shucking game. 2 favorite plays, Chase Young. How about the Chase Young strip sack? Or the estimate improbable touchdown run? Chase Young. What they put in Chase Young's coffee? UBN wants to know who the quarterback was in that game of the week. Oh, that's coming up. I know. Don't worry. His name will be mentioned. You're just trying to start crap. I get it. You're trying to piss Lance off. I don't even know if Lance is here yet. The name's coming up. But how about Chase Young's strip sack? I mean, when's the last time the Saints defense, and I'm sorry, my nose is itchy. I know y'all like, why is he keep rubbing? I don't know if it's allergies or what the deal is. My nose is so itchy this morning. Should have took some leg grip before I came on the show. Chase Young. That's got to be is that the play of the year? I mean, it's recency bias. It's easy to say that, but is that the play of the year? It's got to be one of them. It's in the top 5 for sure. Maybe we'll have a daddy for the play of the year. Daryl Hayden, good morning. Shough, you've seen enough. You're going crown shopping. You're going to crown him. You want to crown him? Crown his ass. Are we ready to crown Tyler Shough? It's hard not to, man. It's really hard not to. Kyle Sherman, welcome on this Monday morning. Good morning, Dattitudinals. You love the title card. Hope. Sometimes hope can be a dangerous thing. Mr. J. Hamilton says, go Saints, beat the Birds, enjoying the hope. Sometimes it's a wonderful thing. Sometimes it's scary, whatever. Right now, I guess you got to say it's a good thing. Christopher Crump is here. What a great Christmas present. It didn't suck. I mean, just think about that game. In fact, let me click on this real quick. The score, because I don't want to mess this up. It was 20-10 at halftime. Saints were down 20-10 at halftime. They scored 24 points. Saints scored 24 points in the second half. I mean, think about it. Before a few weeks ago, the Saints weren't even scoring 24 points in a game. Hardly ever. They scored 24 points in the second half. I don't care if it's the Titans. Titans actually been playing pretty well lately. The streak of allowing fewer than 200 yards passing came to an end, though. As Cam Ward, I thought he looked decent. He wasn't great. His rating was only 88.6. Tyler Shough's rating, by the way, 142.7. I think Malik Willis might have been the only one that was better than that this weekend. And even, I think he was like 145 or something along those lines. 142.7, Tyler Shough. 22 of 20. One point, it was 21 of 24. Finished 22 of 27 for 333 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. Adam Varner says, good morning. What he likes about Shough is he has zero quit in him. His accuracy is fantastic. There's no question about it. Earl's Picks. Who Dat? Another victory Monday. S. Callie. Good morning. Let's go. Absolutely. Nick Chasson said WWL said last night that Shough joins only Dak Prescott and Joe Burrow as rookie quarterbacks with back-to-back 300-yard games with no picks. Nick, I'll get back to you. I do some looking up. I don't necessarily, no offense to my friends at WWL, but I don't necessarily. I've learned to not trust anything without looking it up myself, because every time I do that, it bites me in the keister. But either way, still pretty impressive. I'm going to tell you something about the back-to-back 300-yard. Where does it rank in Saints history? Not just among rookie quarterbacks. I mean, he's obviously the only Saints rookie that's ever done it. Gabe says May 150. Oh, May had a 157 rating. Okay, so he's third. Yeah, so I'm going to check on that, Nick. Would it surprise me if that's accurate? No. Again, Shough is the first Saints rookie. Now, the list isn't very long. There haven't been a ton of rookie starts. In fact, I think there have probably only been, if you go look at all the rookie starts in Saints history, I'd be willing to bet it's probably 30 or fewer. Maybe I'll look that up too. We'll talk about that next week. We got a lot of things to talk about in the offseason, by the way. Superlatives. But the first Saints rookie to ever throw for 300 yards in back-to-back games, and again, coming up in the dime, something that he's in very short Saints company with. Apathy says Todd Bowles, Dennis Allen. Is that where you're going this morning? Todd Bowles is Dennis Allen light. Raheem Morris, Dennis Allen clone. Both might get fired. I don't know. Todd Bowles might get fired. Y'all know I don't love Todd. I've never liked Todd Bowles, but I had to give him some credit when he keeps winning the division. Maybe it's just, the elimination theory. The other 3 teams are just that bad. Glad the Saints hired the young offensive line. Look, I'm going to say this, Apathy. I hear you. But I'm not always – the Saints needed an offensive line. There's no question. They had to go offense. And look, I know a lot of people were rooting for Aaron Glenn. Look, thank God that didn't happen, right? But sometimes a defensive mind is the right thing for a team, depending on what stage where they're at. What kind of rebuild do they need to do? What personnel do they need? Somebody's going to hire Brandon Staley as head coach. It's not going to be this cycle, I don't think. But if Brandon Staley has another season like he has this year, he's going to get hired. He's going to get hired again as a head coach. Y'all know what I think about him as a head coach. For the Saints, it worked. That doesn't necessarily mean it would work for every team. But I hear you. Randall, good morning, Who Dat Nation. Nola Rebel's here. Who Dat is back. That reminds me, Nola Rebel. In fact, Robert Campbell says Who Dat in caps. Not been this excited in a long time. when the Saints score, I think was it the estimate touchdown? I can't remember whether it was the estimate touchdown or the one before that when he threw it to Austin to give the Saints the lead that they would never relinquish. After one of those, there were a lot of Saints fans there in Nashville yesterday, and there was a close-up of this. I don't want to say old dude because he looked like he's about my age. He just had more gray hair than me, and it just screaming "Who Dat" at the top of his lungs. You couldn't hear him, but you could see the veins popping out in his neck. He was so fired up. The Saints fans there were so fired up. When's the last time you felt like this? And I'm not just talking about, last week you felt great. But with every passing game, it gets more and more real, doesn't it? I mean, this kid made passes yesterday that I haven't seen anyone really make. Not on a consistent basis. I'm not saying, you go back through 5 years and you can find some great passes. Spencer Rattler I could go pull 4 or 5 passes that he made that I thought were as good as any Saints quarterback has made since Drew Brees. Derek Carr obviously made some fantastic long throws, but Tyler Shough continues to do it on a consistent, regular basis. It's incredibly impressive. Owen Attilio is here. Good morning. Oh, happy day. Saints are on a roll. Who dat? Faith, hope, and more. Kellen Moore. No question. Earl says what I'm thinking. So you put the opponents aside. If you just look at the quarterback play, it's very impressive. His poise, pocket presence, accuracy, control of the offense does not look like a rookie playing. Get on the Shough train or be left behind, baby. No doubt. Dylan Smith, good morning. Future looks bright. Who that's? No question about it. Cecil Evans, ready to bite into my crow po boy. He was dead wrong about Shough. They're all coming around now, Cecil. Glad to have you on board. Good morning, Trish. How are you? Rob talking about what I said before. Some people says he downloads the show in his podcast app all the time. By the way, I just realized I did not first. I keep doing this ever since I went independent. I'm like forgetting the last step. I did not put up the last pod on the audio only version. If you listen to the audio only version, you're wondering where it is. It's a brain fart. When I get off this show, I'll put both shows up. I'll put Friday's show up and I'll put this show up. That's going to happen. All right. I want to get into the dime and I'm going to get back to the comments in just a minute. I know I'm behind. But if you're new here and you wonder what this is my weekly commentary on what we saw this past weekend. It's 95% Saints. And of course, it's going to be Saints here today. And it's my only scripted portion of the week. We only have one more of these, one more dime this season. Now, I'll sprinkle one in here and there throughout the offseason, but I don't usually do them on Mondays or once the season is over. So we only, I'd like to use the word, I'll only get so many chances to use it. It is the penultimate Derry's dime of this season. Here it goes. All right. 2 months ago, when Tyler Shough took the reins as quarterback of the New Orleans Saints, a sliver of hope passed over the fan base. That sliver was there because not just that most of us thought Shough could be the hope for the future, rather that he represented something different than what he had done and leading this, and what someone else had done, I should say, leading this team's futile start of 1-7, then a week later to 1-8. Anything was better than what we had been watching over the course of the past season and a half. Very quickly, we learned Shough was far from just anything. A win at Carolina was great, but the team only scored 17 points, and that was followed by 2 losses in which the offense scored just 27 combined points. That's when the change began to take charge. That's when the hope train really began to choo-choo its way through the hearts of Who Dats everywhere. Even Cindy Lou Who Dat was impressed. Today, the train is almost moving too fast to even jump on. Ask yourself this question. When have we had this much hope for a team playing for absolutely nothing heading into its season finale? Well, let's go back into the past. Because if you said never, I couldn't really argue with you. The last couple times the Saints had nothing to play for in the final week of the season, well, that was last year. So obviously no hope there. 2023, they were 7-9. There were already plenty of grumblings the masses wanted Dennis Allen and Derek Carr to leave town ASAP. 2014 to 2016 with 3 straight 7-9 finishes. Sure, Drew Brees was there. Sure, there was hope the following season would be better. Each following season, but with defenses that ranked 31st, and 27th, even some were questioning Sean Payton and what was going on the defensive side of the football, and bye-bye Rob Ryan. 2012 was Bountygate, and the overwhelming sentiment was relief that it was over more than there was hope. 2007 and 2008, finishes of 7-9 and 8-8 the seasons before winning the Super Bowl. Well, going 2-3 in your final 5 games in each of those seasons doesn't exactly get the hype train moving at warp speed. 2005, Katrina, or any of the Jim Haslett seasons? No. What about the Ditka seasons? Yeah, right. So to even find one that's worth arguing, going into the final week of the regular season with nothing to play for, but hope springs eternal, one would have to go back to, I don't know, maybe 1986 and Jim Mora. But even then, the team finished with losses in 4 of their last 5. No, this Saints team is different. It's safe to say that Tyler Shough is different than any other rookie quarterback in team history. And that includes the great Archie Manning. He's already won 3 more games than any other rookie quarterback in team history. Even though there haven't been that many over just shy of 60 years, it's still impressive considering the fact that he's only played half a season. He has now thrown for 2,125 yards in 8 games started, which is by far more than any other rookie quarterback in this team's history. He's also thrown for 300-plus yards in back-to-back games. How rare is that for a Saints quarterback not named Drew Brees? How about only one other Saint had ever done it before Sunday? I'm not talking about rookie quarterbacks. No, only one other Saint in team history before Sunday, besides Drew Brees, had ever thrown for 300-plus yards in back-to-back games. That was Aaron Brooks 24 years ago. That's it. That's the list. Just one other time. Manning threw for 300-plus yards just 9 times in his entire career here. Bobby Hebert only did it 4 times. Jim Everett did it 6. Aaron Brooks, 10. Derek Carr, oh yeah, I said it. Derek Carr did it 6 times. Tyler Shough's about to join a list of only a handful of Saints quarterbacks that have ever thrown for 300 yards, not in back-to-back games, just ever. We told you weeks ago we weren't letting the haters piss on our parade, and it still stands. I don't care who this team beat or why the Saints are 5-3 since Tyler Shough took over. Doesn't matter. It's not who they beat. It's how they beat them. And the improvement we have seen each week to go along with it. That's why the Hope Train is moving 100 miles an hour. That's why you should be excited for next September. That's why if someone tells you it was just Carolina, or it was just Tampa Bay, or it was just the Jets, or it was just the Titans, tell them to go fly a kite. We ain't slowing down for nobody. And that's my dime. We don't care what they had to say. If they don't like it, if they want to come, because I saw it all over my feeds this morning when I put up the short. Oh, great, you beat Tennessee. They've won 4 in a row. How many teams right now have won 4 games in a row? Doesn't matter who you play sometimes. Yeah, it would be more impressive if you did it against Seattle and you did it against the Rams. The NFC West arguably is the toughest division in football. It's one of them for sure. I mean, you could talk about maybe the NFC North is up there. You know, go through it. I mean, I guess you could argue the AFC West is in the competition, but the Raiders are so stinking bad. The AFC South has been better than it usually is. But I mean, you could arguably say that the NFC West is the best division in football. Saints went 0-4 against them. That means they're 6-6 against everybody else. Is that something that you think is, you know, are you hyped up? Are you thrilled? Are you excited that they're 6-6 against everybody else? No. But it sure beats what the hell we've been watching. Sure beats what we've been watching. Now, I know I'm still a half an hour behind, but I want to get to some of these comments. Nick Chasson also says if Olave gets a tutty against the Falcons, I told you this already. I guess I owe him an apology for not believing. You know what, Nick? You're the first person I've heard say that. You're the first person that's come out and said you owe. I mean, we saw Cecil talk about being dead wrong about Shough and offer him an apology. It's easy to give Shough an apology. How about an apology for Chris Olave? Should have one. By the way, that's a lot of green on that schedule there at the end. Sure is nice to look at. I'm going to leave that up for a minute. CWO, USAR, fan in the stands is 67, loving the Shough and the Moore era. You know, I was yelling at Kellen Moore. I don't know if you were with me. You notice how things changed, by the way? Were you watching early on? Look, I got to be honest. I haven't yelled much at my TV. I haven't had a chance to yell much at my TV. I actually enjoy yelling at the TV sometimes. Okay. But the family, my wife, I love her for this. She said, we're going to the movies at 1:15 today, and you're welcome. She took mother-in-law and the two girls, and they went to the movies and left me alone to watch the game. And I don't get a lot of chances to watch as a fan anymore. I just don't. Obviously, when I'm in the Superdome, can't watch as a fan at all because you're in the press box. And even when I'm home, I've really toned it down the last several years. And I don't. But yesterday, I'm like, you know what? I got so enthralled and wrapped up. I found myself yelling at the TV the whole day. It was like old times. And early on, I thought the play calling, and here's more Kellen Moore growth, by the way. I found the first half of the season that he was kind of stubborn, and whatever the game plan was, he just kind of stuck with it. And maybe more than half the season, because even when Shough came in, he kind of stuck with that too. After the bye week, things started to change a little bit. And obviously, he's trusting Shough more and more. But when he kept handing the ball off to Taysom Hill early, stop handing the ball off. Will somebody take a permanent Sharpie and scratch that off his goddamn playlist and don't ever call it again? Because that's what I'm yelling at the TV. I don't know if you were with me or not. But he changed, man. He changed. And he, I got to give it to him. He adjusted. And I have seen more and more games the past few weeks. Not only has Tyler Shough grown, but I've seen the past 4 to 6 weeks, I have seen Kellen Moore with more adjustments week after week. And he gives out, and I meant to cut this clip out. If you haven't seen it, go find it on the Saints page, the locker room yesterday. It was fantastic, by the way. It might even bring a tear to your eye because, you know what was not in the dime that I meant to put in the dime is, did you see it? Did you see Demario Davis yesterday after the game was over and they were giving out the game balls and he got the last one? You just got to think he's coming back. You just got to think that not only is he coming back, but I'm not saying that all these players are going to be able to come back because they're not going to have room for them all. Because what is happening here, and one of the main things that I think that's going on over the course of this win streak, sure, in the grand scheme of things, all you're doing is worsening your draft position. That's the negative side of it. The positive side is you've got all this momentum going into 2026. And I think that this is going to help you immensely when you're trying to get free agents to come here. If the Saints win this game on Sunday, don't I got to go and look at this, but I believe, and Gabe, if there's any way to find this out for me. I believe that if the Atlanta loses to the Rams tonight, and the Saints, sorry, that's Kenny Berthelot calling. We'll get to him in a little bit. If the Saints win next Sunday and Atlanta loses tonight, which means Atlanta will have lost their last 2 games, I believe the Saints can finish no worse than 3rd and can still finish 2nd in the division. I believe they would beat Atlanta in a tiebreaker if they split, and no, because Atlanta would only have 6 wins. So they would definitely finish ahead of Atlanta. So if Atlanta loses out and the Panthers win, Saints finish 2nd. Wow. I mean, that would change the schedule as well. Okay? But it's okay. So, I mean, you would rather that happen. To go back to my point is you're going to have free agents. I think the free agents, this is going to help free agents want to come here. The Saints, they're not going to have a ton of money. They're going to be in way better position they've been in, but they're still not going to be able to spend a ton of money. However, they will be able to spend way more money than they've spent over the last few years. That's a show for later in the offseason for sure. Ovide Kibido, good morning. Who dat, baby? Go Saints. When we beat Atlanta, we will be the division champion and not make the playoffs. Team nobody is who we are. It is kind of a weird spot for sure. Bo, where you at? Glad you're on the show today. Shouldn't you be working? Chuck that. That's right. St. Louis Obispo, Who Dat, good morning. Happy New Year, all the Who Dats, as I try to catch up a little bit. Professor Scandal Pants. Well, Professor Scandal Pants. 2 free agent guards and Jeremiah Love. Let's go. As our Derry Downer Award of the day. Derry Downer Award of the day. Jay Lasser, I'm not as optimistic as most yet. He says yet. But I'll bet Titans management crapped their pants yesterday watching Shough outplay their top draft pick, Cam Ward. I don't know. I got to say this, Jay. That was the first full game I saw Cam Ward play. Considering his O-line kind of stinks too. Got sacked 4 times. His quarterback rating wasn't fantastic, but he threw for 251 yards. And the Titans have played much better the last 6 or 8 games like the Saints have. They don't have the wins to show for it. But I think Cam Ward can be an a real NFL quarterback. Although I said that before the season, I probably feel better about Cam Ward today than I did 8 weeks ago, 10 weeks ago. I don't know. I don't think there's any question Tyler Shough has played better than any other rookie quarterback in the NFL this year. You could argue. I guess some people are still going to argue the Jackson Dart thing, and some people are still going to say Cam Ward. Tyler Shough is basically even money. Did you see the odds change, by the way, this morning? Teteroa McMillan and Tyler Shough are basically what and what for offensive rookie of the year. Tyler Shough before this week, Zach's got a ticket on him at 225-1. As soon as like 3 weeks ago, I think Shough was still 50 or 60-1. He was 4-1 before this week, and now he and Teteroa McMillan are even money. They're both even money to win Offensive Rookie of the Year. Ted had a bad day yesterday, but so did all the Panthers offensively. And obviously, if Tyler Shough throws for 300 yards again next week, I don't care what McMillan does. I think it's a lock. And I'm ticked off that I didn't bet it a couple of weeks ago. David Herman says Saints played their best half of football he's seen in years. No question. Ryan and Shay, good morning, Who Dat. Chad Gage is here. Hello, all. We do not need a quarterback in the draft. Where do we go? I think we got a little way. Let's get there first. Merlin John Abear, 6 upside and down, and it's 9 now. Who Dat? I'm not sure 100% understand what you mean. 6 and 10. They're 6 and 10. Is that what you mean? Finish 7 and 10. They could still win the over 6.5. They win this week. That stupid ass dumb ticket that I've told y'all about before, and I haven't talked about it in a while. The one that I made because I thought, sorry, Lance, close your ears. Derek Carr was sticking around. I'm like, there's no way the Saints can't win more than 6.5 games if Derek Carr's here. They're going to easily win 7 games if Derek Carr's here. And then the next day, Carr says he's not playing anymore. And I almost ripped up the ticket right there. Apathy says, if you think you had a bad morning, just remember Mel Kiper exists. Remember when he was screaming, Saints, how could they not draft Shedeur Sanders? Don't get me started on Shedeur Sanders. Jody Alexander, good morning, Who Dat. Happy early New Year. Great football weekend. NFC West is a great division. He thinks Darnold will Darnold. So do I. Great team win for the Saints. Definitely have a good foundation. Started building on it for next year. No doubt about it. Go back to this slide, by the way. If it will go, there it goes. I think that's more important than the schedule. What else we got here? Trying to catch up. Quo, good morning. Happy New Year. Looking forward to an offseason. Lots of hope for Saints fan. Does Tyler Shough have a shot at Offensive Rookie of the Year, having only played 8 games? Well, there you go. I didn't even see your comment yet. Even money. Again, if he throws for 300 yards again next week against the Falcons and they win and he finishes 6-3, even if he doesn't throw for 300 yards, if the Saints win next week, unless he just isn't good, I really kind of think it's his to lose. That's my opinion. Now, if McMillan goes for 100 yards and catches a touchdown pass and the Panthers beat the Bucs and go to the playoffs, I don't know. Maybe it's gonna be an interesting week. But if somebody gave me 100 fake dollars and I had to put money down on one of them, I would take Shough. That's who I think it would be. Barry Ulay, I know who Zach's rooting for. Barry Ulay, good morning. Receivers room definitely ain't the main concern on draft day. That is absolutely true. Rocky, who dat, baby? Jason Benson, Olave, and Double J, they want it out of here. The fans wanted him out of here. You were right. Musette backing me up. Good morning. Very exciting about Chris Olave. Proving the haters wrong. Tetters, what's up? The rebuild is on. There he is. Lance is here. Who dat? Tyler Shough is the truth. K-Man, we really need to sign a good punter. Oh, that is the truth. Oh, Lord. Of all the things that went right yesterday, that's one thing that didn't. Good Lord. The punting situation is not good. I know I'm still a half an hour behind. I'm trying to catch up. UBN paid me. Thank you for the super chat, UBN. He just, by the way, if you're listening, you can't see this. He just paid me a $25 super chat just to say Derek Carr again. Well, here you go. For $25, I'll say it twice. UBN, Derek Carr, he gone. If you pay me not to say it, I'll not say it too. Let's see. One Smoke is here. Good morning. You got a ticket for Shough at Rookie of the Year for plus 1,800. That's awesome. Did they give you a cash out? Do they give you a cash out option? Gabe Henderson says Derek Carr's name is like Beetlejuice in here. So what happens if I go Derek Carr? Oh, wait, I wasn't supposed to say it the third time. I'm sorry. Rocky says Olave is indeed a number one. Wide receiver room looks promising. Wouldn't hurt to add another via draft free agency, get running back help, and O-line look out. I think there's no question that this team needs to draft one still, just not early. More important needs. We said this over and over again. Lance says he's going to say something that everybody will hate him for. He's okay sitting Shough for the Falcons again. Absolutely not. Why would you sit Shough for the Falcons? Why would you do that? 0.0. I haven't had a good 0.0 in a while. That's a good one. 0.0. St. Louis Obispo, who dat, says at the start of the season, we were just looking for improvement by the end of the year. And sure enough, or is it Shough enough? That's what we said, right? We said we wanted the Saints to improve from week 1 to week 18, and there is no question, no matter what. I don't care if the Saints just crap the bed and just lose 31-0. I don't care. I mean, obviously, I don't want that to happen, especially because it's the Falcons or whatever. But this Saints team, where it is now, compared to week 1, it's not close. And what's interesting is their offensive line is worse than it was in week 1, even though Trevor Penning's gone, and now he's screwing up the Chargers. They have no running backs to speak of, although Audric Estime is making his case that he wants to be on next year's team. And I'm not going to argue with him. By the way, I didn't put his numbers in here, and I meant to. Sorry, Audric Estime. I did not mean to. I should have put his numbers in here instead of Austin. I meant to. I'm sorry. Audric Estime, 14 carries for 94 yards and a touchdown. How about that? And that amazing touchdown run. Mark Gapsky, I'm going to hit my Saints over 6.5. If they don't, it means they lost to them hated Dirty Birds. Woo! Come on now. I'd be really glad to be wrong about that and get my 6.5 by accident. Well, maybe it's not an accident. I don't know. Silver Gator said he had a great parlay with Shough plus 200 passing yards. Boy, you won that easy, huh? Tom says NFC South is the most competitive, air quotes, division in the NFL. Yep. Beetlejuice. Oh, Rob, see, I'm behind, but I'm ahead, if that makes any sense. My thoughts on Estime, I think he's going to get an absolute chance to stick around. 100%. I think he's going to get a chance to stick around. Somebody named Drea and Salmo Derry is watching. Wow. Are you still watching? I'm just glad she got on here. It's telling hello to Trish. I didn't say anything bad about the wifey, did I? Gabe, did I say anything bad about the wifey? No? All right, thank God. Not that I say anything bad about that. That's a complete joke. Never would say anything bad about the wifey. Jason Benson, if you think Ward wasn't looking for all the Tyler Shough would have went first if the draft were today, you are wrong. He still had to bite the pill and get shucked. Gonna get shucked tonight. That song. Calvin's here. Estimates 5'11", almost 230. Saints needed a bowling ball to wear down the defenses. Man, I'm telling you, that's another thing. That's what I was yelling at. I'm like, stop running the ball with Taysom Hill. You stop running the ball with Taysom Hill. And then they let Estime run the ball, and look what happened. Hill yesterday, by the way, 3 carries for 0 yards. He gone. Charles Mangus, thank you so much for the super sticker. We very much appreciate a $5 donation. Thank you. Charles Mangus, a regular here on Dat. S. Kelly says, I completely crack her up when wifey pops on. I got to think back and just make sure that I didn't screw anything up. Lance says, bite the pillow, Derry after dark. Yeah. Whew. I told you, type it in, there's about an 85% chance I'm going to read it. I am Ron Burgundy. I'm going to read it. Infantryman is here. Another Victory Monday. Good morning. Looks like Shough has a very real chance at Offensive Rookie of the Year, and he deserves it. Joe Trabator, my friend, is here. Getting real. He's even taking the bag off his head. Oh, he's even taking the bag off his head of his gumbo statue on a Saints wall. Hashtag just saying. Okay, big dog. JT, watch what we look like with 2 guards and a center. I just want Eric McCoy to come back healthy. I know that's asking for a lot, but if Eric McCoy comes back healthy and they get 1 really good guard and 1 serviceable guard, that's enough for me for next year. Now, if you go back and look at the Saints teams that were uber successful, they had a lot better than that. They had some just fantastic offensive lines. Every really good Saints team had a really good offensive line. Going back to LSU for a minute, Tom said it was good to see LSU still had some fight in them. Even though they lost, they made a good game of it. Go Tigers. Absolutely, they did. Absolutely did. Even Ryan's booing Beetlejuice. Hey, can I just... There you go, Gabe. From now on, we're just going to call him Beetlejuice. Maybe we'll have the Beetlejuice Award of the Year on the Daddies. There you go. Could be. Tommy Arnold, who dat? Ready for a new era. Great time. Thank you, Charles. I'm still catching up. Musette says she's even more excited after listening to the Don. The future is looking very bright. Go Shough. Go Olave. Go DeMario. I'm telling you, man. Musette sent me I had not seen it yet, and she sent me the locker room video. DeMario had me tearing up, man. I don't think there's any question the dude's going to want to come back, right? And if he wants to come back, make it happen. I don't like paying for old dudes. I mean, but that old dude is worth paying for. I don't know what they're going to do with Cam Jordan. Is going to give a hometown discount? A lot of things to talk about in this offseason. I'll let you toot your own horn, Mark Gapsky. You did tell us Patriots 13.5. Minus 13.5 was easy money. It was a 5-star pick. Well, your 5-star pick wins. It was an easy one. Barry Ulay says back on draft day, no one, and I mean no one, outside of the Saints draft room thought Shough was the right pick. No one, him included. Now he eats crow. I'm eating it with you, my friend. I said it multiple times. I did not believe that was the right pick, but it certainly looks like it was. Phil Mariandi, good morning from 56-degree Texas. Good morning, Phil. I will say this, though. Yes, I'm stubborn. Even though it obviously was the right pick for this team, and clearly Tyler Shough may be the best quarterback in this draft, I will stand on this soapbox or whatever. You can go back in time. I still think they could have got Tyler Shough later in the draft. I'm just saying. Now, I guess you could say that you're glad that they didn't take a chance. You know? So, again, I'm sorry I keep scratching my nose. It is itching the heck out of me. I don't know what's going on. I swear I'm not picking my nose. It is itching me like nobody's business. I don't know what's going on. I apologize. Yeah, I can't watch this dude. He keeps scratching his nose. I don't mean to. Jay Tucker Rafferty says that the Saints beat Atlanta. They would have the best division record with only 2 losses in the division. 4-2 in the division. The Saints win. The Saints win this week. They will finish 4-2 in the division. Gabe, what would Carolina's record be in the division if they win on Sunday? Because I think they might be 4-2 as well with the only 2 losses of the Saints. Because I think that would mean they beat Tampa twice. Because I think they beat Atlanta twice, but I'm not sure. I say that and I don't know. Mark, we're not going to talk a lot of Pels tonight, but you are correct. The New Orleans Pelicans host Chalmette native Mitch Robinson and the New York Knicks tonight at the Smoothie King Center, 7 p.m. tip-off. There is no question about that. That is true. I covered Mitchell Robinson in high school. You want to talk about a man amongst boys. I mean, good Lord. Randall says Cam Ward is good as well. He looked like a franchise quarterback to him yesterday. I'm telling you, I can't disagree with you. Slugger's here. He says, he's not a Saints fan or even an NFL man, but Kellen Moore surpassed the wins 5 that he thought he could have won, considered it a good season. So for Saints fans, should be very excited. There's no way not to be. Carolina would be 4-2 with a win also. So if Carolina wins and the Saints win, they would both finish with a 4-2 division record. That would mean the Panthers swept Tampa Bay and the Falcons, but lost to the Saints. Either way, the Saints will at least at the bare minimum be tied for the best division record. Pretty impressive, right? My friend Shane Bergeron, get me a Millipony. Anybody got a Millipony out there? Need a running back behind Devin Neal because he's the starter next year. I don't know if I can agree with that, Shane. I love Kamara, but we have to get younger. Kamara gone. Crazy in that redraft all morning long. ESPN saying that Tyler would be the first overall pick. We will see, but he sure gives us some hope. There's no doubt about that. Running back is a mess. Look, I'm glad that Audric Estime. Here's another one for you, Gabe. I've been asking you to do a lot today. When's the last time, and I was thinking about this and meant to look it up and forgot. Can you find out when's the last time the Saints had a 100-yard rusher? Because I don't think it happened this year. Kamara might have done it, but I don't think so. When's the last time the Saints had a 100-yard rusher in a game? The Saints don't have a real running back, and that includes Devin Neal. Can Devin Neal be a serviceable backup? Sure, maybe. Can Audric Estime be a serviceable backup? Maybe. But there's a reason why Denver let him go, and that's because he wasn't even going to make that team. Again, after what I saw yesterday, he absolutely deserves a chance to be on this team next year. Maybe he and Devin Neal are on this team, but the Saints have to have a real number one running back, and they don't have one right now. Alvin Kamara's gone. They got to go find a real running back. You got to let him go post June 1. You got to save the $8 million, use it on something else. There it is. Gabe Henderson, quick on the trigger. Week 13 of 2024. That's the last time the Saints had a 100-yard rusher. It was 112 yards, Alvin Kamara against the Rams. That's terrible. You haven't had a 100-yard rusher in a game since last year. That's not acceptable. Tedder says, Cam Ward is okay, but call me a heightist, but he's loving his 6'4" quarterback, not struggling to see down the field. Well, Cam Ward's pretty tall, pretty big. Cam Ward is at least as big as Shough, I would think. In fact, live TV, I'm not going to ask Gabe to do this. I'm doing it on live TV. Yeah, I love when I do stuff on live TV. Oh, no, he's not as tall. It says he's 6'2". He is big, though. It says he's 220 pounds. I think he's weighs more than that. So he's not as tall as Shough. It's still big enough. I don't know. I hear what you're saying, though. Let's see where we're going now it's almost time to get to Gabe here. Ryan says it's unfair to compare any rookie quarterback to Shough. He's so much further advanced on script and inside the pocket. Again, I guess this is where his age comes in, but Tyler Shough has just looked like an experienced. I mean, he looks like an experienced rookie. I mean, that's what he looks like. But I will say, I'm going to throw this, and I'm not. Look, I already said in my dime, don't piss on anybody's parade. I'm not trying to piss on anybody's parade when I say this. Let's be a little just be a little careful though. The hope is through the sky right now, and as well it should be. But think about quarterbacks who have dipped a little bit in their sophomore seasons. Okay, the first one that comes to mind, and it wasn't a serious dip, and he's going into the playoffs this year. But C.J. Stroud has had one of the best rookie seasons in the last 5 or 6 or 7 years, right? And his second year, not nearly as good. I hope that the age of Tyler Shough benefits him in the sense of going forward with all the experience he had and all those years he played in college. That is not a real rookie. Yeah, Michael, you tell him. Come on, man. Means from Breeze number 9 to Shough number 6. Yeah, some people take stuff so crazy. Gabe says Stroud just tied Elway for the most wins by a quarterback drafted in the first and second rounds to his first 3 seasons. He passed which Manning? Peyton. Okay. But still, that second season, I don't know. Second, it's true. Erlene? Hello, Erlene. That touchdown pass to Olave was a thing of beauty. Nearly jumped out of her shoes. No question about it. Lance, Beetlejuice. Apathy says if you say Beetlejuice 3 times, that's what we're calling DC from here on out. You want me to never say his name again? I'll just call him Beetlejuice. You regulars will know what I'm talking about. If I say it 3 times, he gets his shoulder surgery and plays for a team next season. It's pretty funny. I mean, that is funny. Saints need a punter. Definitely need a punter. I am catching up. I'm almost here. By the way, yeah, Mark, did you see Jose Alvarado got in a fight? I did. And did you see that he got suspended, I think, for 2 games? Suspended. He got suspended. Well, at least they can't win, but at least they can, Did I tell y'all about my dumbass? You know, when I talk about dumbass of the year coming up on the Daddies this week on Wednesday? Dumbass bet of the year. When they went on the long winning streak, I bet $5. I'm like, what the hell? $5. I could have gave it to charity. $5 that the Pels would win the NBA championship to win $10,000. I could have had me a value meal. No, you can't buy a value meal anymore for $5. I could have had 1 burger at McDonald's, and I better eat them because the New Year's resolution. Did I tell you what I'm doing next year? Yeah, I'm going to shame myself. I'm going to do it next year because I'm going to shame myself every Friday. Did I tell you about that? Sean wants to know, do I think Kendra Miller will be part of the 2026 final 53-man roster? Man, I have no idea. I got to be honest. I don't even have a prediction to make, Sean. I'm tired of saying Kendra Miller is potentially – the dude is – I'm sorry. I just can't get fired. I don't know. I'd like to see it because I think the guy's got talent. But I don't know, man. You notice that I'm not intentionally forgetting every time I talk about running backs. It's just easy to forget. Antoinette, happy holidays to you and the fam. Same to yours as well. Shane, yeah, you're there. Mike Silva says Bryce Young struggled as well. You're right, Coach. He sure did. Is he better? He's better, but I mean, honestly, if you had to pick right now, and I'll ask Gabe what he thinks. So get ready, Gabe. I'm going to ask you this question when you come on in less than 5 minutes for sure. Right now, if you had to pick, you can't wait and see anything else. You have to pick for your future. Would you take Tyler Shough or would you take Bryce Young? That's a tough question. I know a lot of y'all just going to jump on the Shough train. And it's easy to take Shough because you're a Saints fan and what you've seen already. And it's only 8K. No, don't type it in. Don't type it in. Just tell me when you come on. That is a hard question. I think Young has a slight edge still, but it's super close. I don't think you're wrong either way. Lance says, defend that quarterback, Gabe. All right, I gotta move on in just a minute. Let's see. Oh, wait, not that one. Mark says he'll buy that Pelicans title ticket from me for $2. Nope. No, I bought it because I'd rather eat the $5, Mark. I ain't selling it for $2. I would, if they gave me a $4 cash out offer right now, I wouldn't take it. They would never do that, but I wouldn't take it. Earl says easily Shough. Here we go with the size again. He's taking the 6'5" quarterback most of the time. I get it. Would you take, 6'5" quarterback? I can think of 6'5" quarterbacks. Would you take, how many 6'5" quarterbacks would you take over Drew Brees? Get out of here. Bryce Young's too small. He's taller than Drew Brees. He's 6 feet. Drew Brees wasn't 6 feet on his best day. Drew Brees needed to wear platform shoes to be 6 feet. I don't care what his number says. Eye many times. Paxton Lynch was 6'6", Gabe says. Osweiler was 6'7". Would you take him over Drew Brees? Earl says he doesn't think Bryce Young is a franchise quarterback. Maybe he isn't. Maybe he's not. UBN says how tall, exactly. How tall was Brees again? He was 5'11". I don't care what he says. He was 5'11". I'm 6'2", and I significantly look down to Drew Brees. Not in that way, only physically. You know what I mean? You know what else I mean? That I told you earlier, we will let you know more about how Evangeline Securities can help you run your family, run a privately held business, what it might be worth and whether it's time to sell. I told you that, and I meant it. Because when you ask me how they do it, I feel compelled to tell you after their complimentary valuation of their company, of your company, not their company. They know they're not selling their company. After your complimentary value, Jesus Christ. Hold on a minute. All right, now I'm ready. After their complimentary valuation of your company, if you decide to proceed, Native New Orleanian Nick Braden and the folks at Evangeline, they'll begin an extensive auction process from among established private equity funds from around the whole wide world. They'll maximize the return for the founder and his or her family. I got some rosy cheeks now after slap the shit out of myself. Evangeline Securities is the top producer on their platform. There are very few companies like them in this area, and none with their dedication and success. They are fully licensed. They're ready to serve you. So get in touch with Nick and Ron about what's really important. And it's not how tall your quarterback is. What's really important? The rest of your life. You can find them at www.evangelinesecurities.com. One Smoke wants to know how many 6'3" quarterbacks I would take over Tua. I don't give a damn how tall they are. Don't get me wrong. If I got two quarterbacks and I got a choice between two quarterbacks and they're absolutely what and what, then I'm going to take the taller one over the shorter one. If they're what and what. Earl says he's a little over 5'10". When he met Breeze, he was eye to eye. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Breeze. Rich Hankton says Breeze is an anomaly. Why? Why is he an anomaly? He's an anomaly because you want him to be an anomaly. You just want him to be an anomaly. Get out of here. Breeze is an outlier. He's different. Why? He's different because he was different. Doesn't have anything to do with his height. Lance, would I take Purdy without Shanahan? Abso-freaking-lutely. Did you watch the game last night? Absolutely, I would take Purdy. I have literally no idea how tall Purdy is, and I don't care. That dude's a gamer. Brady and Shough are 6'4". Oh, it's a sign. All right, smart ass. Actually thinks 6'5". Phil Mariani says Fran Tarkenton was 5'8". Met him in person. Yeah. Nobody. Oh, that's 98 years ago. You can't talk about that. He's different. Everybody you bring, Phil. You know what's going to happen here? Anytime you bring up any quarterback that's 6 feet or less, they're going to say, "Well, he's different." Why is he different? Because you say he's different. Get out of here, Rich Harrington. The fact that no other quarterback under 6 feet comes close to Drew, that's why he's an outlier. You know what? There's only like 3 quarterbacks in the history of football that are better than Drew Brees anyway, if that. Doesn't have anything to do with he's under 6 feet. Well, duh. He's the best quarterback ever under 6 feet. Well, okay, he's an outlier. You go through, I'm make you a list of quarterbacks 6 feet or under who were fantastic. We always use them, and I'm not just Rich. I'm not blasting you, by the way. If this happens, I had this argument. We'll go back to Chris Olave real quick. This is the last thing I'm gonna say before I bring on Gabe. The argument about Chris Olave. It's like nobody's bitching about Chris Olave today, by the way. You can like bring up all kinds of numbers. You can make any kind of number work to your advantage if you want it to. You can find a stat that backs up your argument about 90. You can find the crappiest think of the crappiest quarterback you can come up with that's playing right now. And if I tried hard enough, I could probably find a stat that tells you he's not nearly as bad as you think he is, even though he's probably as bad as you think he is. So when I say, again, I'm not saying I would take Bryce Young over Tyler Shough. I don't know. I'd have to think about it. It's certainly not an automatic thing. And it certainly doesn't have anything to do. Well, I can't say anything. It doesn't have everything to do with his size. Okay. Does Shough have a size advantage? Of course he does. But Bryce Young still has some. I'm not ready to I'm telling you, I'm not ready to give up on Bryce Young. And I'm certainly not ready to just crown him. Shough's played 8 games in the NFL. Bryce Young's played almost 3 full seasons now. And look at the improvement that Carolina's had from year. Is Carolina great? No, of course not. They have a chance to win the division. It's not an easy choice. It's an easy choice if you're a Saints fan. But if you asked 20 Panthers fans who would they rather, Bryce Young or Tyler Shough, I'd be willing to bet on just an average 20 random Panthers fans. I'd be willing to bet 15 or 16 of them take Bryce Young. Maybe more than that. I don't know. I don't know 20 Panthers fans. Maybe I'll put up a poll and try to get Panthers fans to answer it. But I'm just saying. Flutie was 5'9". It's true. And Musette, you're right. Teams don't want to give quarterbacks under 6 feet a chance, not because Warren is good. I mean, so we don't even know. I mean, that's a whole different story. All right. We're moving on. We're still going to talk Saints. I promise. We got a little bit more Saints talk to have, but I want to get into our Monday segment with Gabe Henderson. We'll talk about whatever. Yeah. Okay. So answer the question while you're on here. I know what your answer is going to be, but if you had to choose, you're a complete outsider. You're unbiased. You're not. I mean, so it's easy. It's easier for you to look from the outside in than it is for some of us. I think I would take Shough, but just barely. But that doesn't mean to say I don't think there's not a wrong answer here. I don't think if you say it's absolutely Shough or it's absolutely Young, then I just think you're wrong. Other than that, there's an argument here.
You say I'm wrong.
If you're saying absolutely it's Bryce Young, then I'm saying you're wrong.
I think it's absolutely Shough.
You think it's absolute? That surprises me. Tell me why.
Because the last 2 games he's thrown for over 300 yards. He's got as many 300-yard games already this season as Bryce Young has 200-yard games.
That really surprises me that you're saying that.
I don't think a lot of Bryce Young.
Well, I know that,
there was a stretch toward the end of last season where he looked like a changed man. And then he's just back to being an absolute pumpkin this year. I think they would be better with another
I'm trying to look at
quarterback.
his overall stats for the year. I will say this,
they're not
though.
great.
They're
great.
worse than I thought. Although his completion percentage is okay. He has thrown for 2745, which is only like 600 more than Shough. His rating is 87, which is not great. It's not terrible, but it's not good either. Tyler Shough, what is his rating for the? Tyler Shough's rating is actually worse. Oh, that was before yesterday. They didn't add yesterday's.
I don't put too much stock into ratings.
I do. I actually think that, and I know it's confusing. It's hard to figure. I don't like the ESPN number because it's it's weird. But the QB rating, the reason why I think the NFL's QB rating, I have no idea how to make it. I'm sure I could put it into a formula and figure it out. But I actually think that if you go look by quarterback rating, more times than not, that's pretty close to what my rankings would be on any given Sunday or any given season. So, but anyway, you surprised me with that. Ryan says 100% Shough. Lance is so proud of you. He's so happy that you picked him. Nick UBN says Bryce has better weapons. I don't know. I mean,
yeah, he does.
Tedero McMillan. He's definitely got a better running game.
He's slightly worse than Olave.
Right now, okay.
And then they've got better number 2 receivers.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
Maybe it's really.
Well, he's definitely got a better running game. Yeah, he 100% got a better running game. That's not even close. They have 2 running backs that are better than anything the Saints have right now. That's not even close. So anyway, you've got the Saints fans are endearing. You've endeared some of the Saints fans to yourself. All right.
See now I'll turn them off because I will tell Charles absolutely not.
Okay, I wouldn't do that. I would take CJ Stroud over. I wouldn't even think about that.
Yeah,
and that has nothing to do with Gabe being here. I said this 1,000 times, so I'm going to say it 1,001. I was dead wrong on CJ Stroud. He does not fit the mold of the Ohio State quarterback that sucks, and so that's why I didn't really give him a lot of chance in the beginning.
I will say
a very good quarterback.
To put a nice little Christmas bow on this discussion, I think you're better off asking Shough or Cam Ward. I think that's a much closer comparison.
Cam will look pretty good again.
I really think I was impressed with what I saw from Cam Ward. I've been impressed,
and he doesn't really have a lot of weapons either.
He's got nothing.
He's got a better running game too.
Tony Pollard's been okay.
I mean, Pollard and Tajay Spears to me are better than anything the Saints have running the football, but he really doesn't have much to throw to. So. Anyway, Lance says he's betting that Shough is better than CJ after next year. Okay, we'll see.
We'll see. CJ's going to get more playoff wins this year to add to his resume.
I don't think so. I think they're both going to have the same amount of playoff wins. He's going to have more playoff appearances. But
you don't think the Texans will win a game in the playoffs?
I mean, they're going to be the 6 or 7 seed.
No, they're right now to the 5 seed.
Okay,
right now they are slated to go to the winner of the AFC North.
The Ravens.
And they can get as high as the 3 seed if they win the division. If they win
maybe
next week,
if they're the 5 seed,
lower than the 5.
Maybe if they're the 5 seed, if they go to the AFC North champ, they got
They're either going to Jacksonville or Pittsburgh / Baltimore.
Right.
And I think they can win.
I have no idea what I'm going to pick. I'm going to have to think about it. All right. We're going to come back. I'm going to wrap up the show with the last 5 to 8 minutes on Saints. So continue to bring your Saints comments in. But I want to talk. We don't have another live show. Again, Wednesday show is the Daddies. It is not going to be a live show. It's going to be the first show since we started doing this, since I was not independent and told that this was going to be my job. It's going to be the first time in a long time that the show is not live. So that'll be on Wednesday. So since you and I won't see each other on Wednesday and we won't see each other again until after the CFP, I just kind of want to go through these games. And I don't want to spend more than 2 minutes per game, but I kind of want to make a prediction. I want you to tell me if you have a pick for it, if there's anything you like. Again, you can hold our feet to the fire if you want, but these are going to be our picks and our predictions. We'll tell you if we have a bet for the 4 CFP quarterfinals games, which begin Wednesday night, and then 3 of them on New Year's Day. You got the Cotton on New Year's Eve, then you got the Orange, Rose, and Sugar in that order. First one is the Cotton Bowl, Wednesday, at 6:30 on New Year's Eve. Ohio State, a 9.5-point favorite over the U. And the total is 41.5.
I'll make it fun. I'll make picks for each of these games.
Yeah, I will too. Go ahead.
I'll take Miami plus 9.5.
Okay.
This game. I just think
write these down, by the way, so we can revisit these. These don't count for anything, but we're going to make our picks and go ahead and write them down.
Got it.
Okay, you got Miami plus 9.5. That is your official bet for the Cotton Bowl. Go ahead.
Yeah, Ohio State has really struggled to run the ball recently. And we saw against Texas A&M, if you have a relatively one-dimensional offense, Miami's defense is going to play well. I don't think either offense is going to exactly light up the scoreboard. I think Ohio State will still win because I think Julian Sayan's a better quarterback than Carson Beck. But I do like Miami to keep it closer than the line suggests.
My official pick on this is going to be the over 41.5. I'm never betting under 41.5 in college football unless it's Iowa playing Iowa State, and Uncle Big Nick loves to do that every year. I think this is this is shaded lower than it should be, only because Miami played that slugfest with Texas A&M in the last game. If you look at some of their other games, they scored 38 points again against Pitt. Again on November 29th. They scored 34 the week before that, 41 the week before that, 38 the week before that. Look, again, Ohio State's defense is obviously better than that, but I think Ohio State's as good as Miami's defense has been. I just think that 41.5 is way too low. So I'm going to take the over 41.5 in that one. I think that Ohio State wins. If I had to pick a side, I would probably take Miami, but I don't love it. And I do think that Ohio State could run away a little bit towards the end. But we'll see. So let's see what else we got. Let's see if we can, if y'all want to come, by the way, make some picks a part of this as we go along. Mark, by the way, says, what would you early line be on Texans at Patriots? Pat's not. Oh no, God no, it'd be way more than that. -2.5.
No, I don't think it'd be way more than that.
Oh, definitely more than that. 100.0%. It's more than -2.5 because it's at least a field goal. It's probably it probably crosses the threshold of 3.5. New England's absolutely a more higher rated team than the Texans. That means it's almost even on a neutral field. No. 0.0, that game would be even on a neutral field.
No.
0.0.
You do realize the Patriots have played the easiest schedule in the league, right?
I don't give a rat's ass.
And the Texans have played the fourth hardest, and they're the only team in the league with 3 wins over 11-win football teams.
I think you're ranking.
That's all fact. That is all fact.
I don't care. Nothing would you say. I'm not saying it's not a fact. I'm just saying that they're not as good as you think they are. By the way, Kenny, happy New Year to you as well. We love you for being here. A longtime friend. We grew up in the same neighborhood together a long time ago. Ryan, everyone hit and like the support and hit the like button and support us. Absolutely. Thank you so much. Earl says the Texans have the defense to win in the playoffs. Defense wins championships. That's what they say. Abdi says, I don't know. Ohio State hasn't looked great. 10 and 14 points against Texas and Indiana. Yeah, we'll see. Earl says he hopes Miami wins.
Suspend them both.
Yeah, we'll see. All right, moving on. We're talking about CFP. I don't want to talk about that.
Charles.
I want to move on. Orange Bowl, Thursday morning. And again, don't look this up, but I don't know that the Orange Bowl has ever not been at night. I mean, it's weird.
I don't know either.
11 a.m. I mean, I always remember watching the Orange Bowl. In the Sugar Bowl isn't always on New Year's. A lot of times lately, Sugar Bowl's been on New Year's Eve, and the Orange Bowl's been on New Year's at night. But anyway, I don't remember the Orange Bowl.
The Sugar Bowl should have been the 11 a.m. game. I think the Orange Bowl should have been the nightcap. I think this is going to be the best game.
Yeah, but that's not how they do it. They do it for what's going to be the best rated game. And there's no question that the Georgia Ole Miss game or the Alabama game, but you can't put the Rose Bowl at night. They would never put the Rose Bowl at night. I personally, if I think which one's going to be the game I want to see the most, well, Georgia Ole Miss the game I want to see the most. The second most, that would be the fourth. That's the game I care the least about. I'm glad it's 11 a.m. I don't care at all.
I care the least about the Rose Bowl.
The only reason why I care at all about I can't say I don't care at all. I have a ticket on Texas Tech. I have a ticket on Texas Tech, a $2 ticket on Miami, And my biggest ticket is on Georgia. So, but anyway,
I got Tech.
What is your pick?
5.5 to 1 to make the playoff. I like Tech plus 2.5. I think Texas Tech is one of the most well-rounded teams in the country. I think both these teams are extremely well coached. I think Texas Tech has playmakers on both sides that'll keep them in this. I don't know if Oregon is experienced enough. I need to see them win a big game. They lost the only big game that they've really played this year. So I like Tech.
By the way, the total is 51.5, which really sounds like a lot, but it's really not in the grand scheme of things. College football, it's kind of low. I actually like the over. That is not my official pick, but I like the over in this one too. This could be a shootout. This could be a fun, old-fashioned Big 12 kind of game. So I think that's going to be. I think it will be fun. These are the two teams I just care about probably the least. But I'm going to go with you, Gabe. I like Texas Tech to win this game outright. I don't know what the money line. Money line will probably be plus 130-ish, plus 120-ish, somewhere in that neighborhood. So I'm going to take Texas Tech here to win this game outright. I think they're a better football team. And I think if any team that's like not named Georgia, Ohio State, or Indiana is going to win the national championship, I think Texas Tech has the best chance out of all those teams to win the national championship, because I agree with you. I think they are well-rounded as well. And honestly, that's going to be interesting because I think that's out of the bracket. Did they play the Ohio State Miami winner? Is that who they play?
No, they would play the Indiana-Alabama winner.
Okay. Oh, Texas Tech, Indiana would be a fantastic football game. That'd be a really good game. All right. So anyway, I'm with you on that. We both had Texas Tech plus 2.5. All right. Rose Bowl is Thursday at 3 p.m. The granddaddy of them all, as always, is in the afternoon on New Year's Day when you're getting your black-eyed peas, when you're eating your cabbage and all that stuff. By the way, even if you don't like black-eyed peas and cabbage, you're supposed to eat them. I do, but only, I don't know. I can't do black-eyed peas are just not my thing. I do eat them. It's literally the only time all year that I eat them. My wife makes them, and by God, you're going to eat them kind of thing. But Indiana -7 over Alabama. The total is 47.5. What you got?
Every part of me wants to take Indiana -7 here. I think Indiana's a better football team. I think they're a better coached football team. I think they're more complete defensively, more well-rounded offensively. I think they should blow Alabama out of the water, but I'm not taking that because I like under 47.5 more.
Under 47.5 on the Rose Bowl. I don't have a feeling one way or the other on the total. If I were forced to pick one, I would probably take the under as well. Here's my upset special. I think Alabama wins this game outright. I don't care what anybody, Indiana's better. Yeah, I don't necessarily disagree, but I'm telling you this, Alabama with a chip on their shoulder, they've got a chip. It's still there. I don't think it goes beyond this game, but I think that whole number one seed thing, it's great. It's fine and dandy. Is Indiana the most well-rounded team in the playoffs? Maybe. But I think when you're talking about, to me, been there before means something. In this case, I really think it means something. It's the reason why Ohio State's going to, even though I don't think Ohio State's as nearly as good as last year's team, they're going to be tough to beat because they're Ohio State and they've been there before. I think it's going to be the same for, I think, Alabama.
What do you mean been there before?
Ohio State, they won the national championship.
No. I'm talking for Alabama and Indiana.
Alabama's Alabama. They've been there 100,000 times before. Who gives a shit?
The first time in the playoff under Kalen DeBoer.
They wear that.
Indiana made the playoff last year under Coach Cignetti as well.
Yeah, this is a completely different.
Other than the
Alabama, no,
nothing to suggest that Alabama should win this game.
Okay, well, I'm taking Alabama +7. It's my, in fact, if I could only have one, that would be my one. Alabama +7. I think they win this game outright. I will be betting on the money line on this game. The next game is, to me, is the toughest one to bet, because I wouldn't be surprised if the Sugar Bowl is the last of the four. It's 7 p.m. It's the one I 100% will be in front of my TV for. It's the one I've been waiting for. I have no idea what's going to happen here. I got to be honest. But we're forcing ourselves to make a pick. It wouldn't surprise me if Georgia won by 20. And honestly, it wouldn't shock me if Ole Miss won. I mean, that's how I think that this game could go a multitude of ways. Georgia's a 6.5 point favorite. The total is 55.5. What do you like?
Georgia has shown holes this season, but I don't think over the last month anybody has looked like a more complete team than the Bulldogs. I think right now they have an argument to be the best team in the country in terms of form. This is the only game that I will take the favorite to cover the spread. I'll take Georgia -6.5. I just think they're in a different class. I think Kirby Smart is going to coach absolute circles around Pete Golding, and I think Georgia wins this football game.
I agree with that part of it. But I still think that there's some kind of little attitude thing going on. Tom, by the way, I'll show you your picks. He's got Ohio State beating Miami by 7 in a high-scoring game.
That's Texas a very high-scoring game.
Texas Tech by 13 over Oregon. He's got Indiana beating Bama by a field goal. Georgia beating Ole Miss by 10. Charles Menga says he loves black-eyed peas and cabbage and corned beef. I don't love any of those. I do like a good corned beef. Tom says black-eyed peas, cabbage, stay home. Tom, you just started watching this show? I mean, I don't go out of my way to say who gives a shit, but who gives a shit that I said who gives a shit?
I thought earlier, I don't know if you saw my comment earlier when you said, if you feel like this, go fly a kite. I thought, I heard go, and I was like, oh no, here we go again.
No. Ryan says Bama's more talented than Indiana has all the other edges over them. Maybe.
Yeah.
Charles says I also said GD and JC. Yeah, I did. I mean, I'm not meaning to say these things. I'm just letting myself be more free now that we're independent. I mean, we pretty much can say whatever we want, right? UBN says he will bet me on Indy and Bama. Okay. We'll talk about it later. All right, I never made my pick. This is a forced pick because we said we're going to make a pick. Yeah. I don't like either side again.
For fun.
I'm a degenerate, so I probably will make a last-minute bet on it. Whatever floats my boat at the last minute. But I kind of like the under. 55.5, and I know Ole Miss is obviously offensively unchallenged. That doesn't even make sense, but you know what I mean. But Georgia's defense, I agree with you. I don't feel strongly enough to give the 6.5, but I do think that Kirby Smart's going to run circles around Golding. Mm-hmm. And I think that Georgia's defense can sometimes, it's not as good as some of the Georgia defenses we've seen the past few years, but it's still pretty good.
Yep.
And I really think, I know I said it for the Tulane game and I was wrong, but I really think this is the game that Ole Miss misses Lane Kiffin offensively.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to take the under 55.5. So did you write them all down? Go through real quick what we have here. Tell everybody what we have real quick again.
So for the Cotton Bowl, I have Miami plus 9.5. You have over 41.5. For the Orange Bowl, we both have Texas Tech plus 2.5, and you even would sprinkle some money on Texas Tech money line, which I don't hate. For the Rose Bowl, I have under 47.5. You have Alabama plus 7. Once again, sprinkling a little something on the money line. And for the Sugar Bowl, I have Georgia minus 6.5. You have under 55.5.
Ryan says he's taking all dogs to cover. All dogs go to heaven, so they say.
That's just statistically. I just don't know how likely that is that all of them cover. I do like all of the dogs to cover, except I just if there's any dog that's not going to cover, it's either going to be Alabama or Ole Miss.
Every time I see Georgia dogs, all I can think about is that stupid commercial or Bark Boy.
He barks at his boss.
Yeah. Bark. Yeah. Hey, Bark Boy.
Yeah.
See, they've got some people all over. The Bama does not. We got to put it in caps. And Rock does not beat Indiana.
I just don't see it. Nick Saban isn't on that sideline anymore. This isn't him taking multiple weeks to prepare for a game. Kurt Cignetti's a Saban disciple. I think Kurt Cignetti's a better coach. So we'll see. I could be wrong.
Earl says he doesn't want any cabbage or black-eyed peas. Rocky's just hating on Ole Piss. Mark says, Happy New Year to us. So 2026 is great for us. So do I, man. NFC South title next year and at least one playoff win. Mark, thank you so much. Enjoy your New Year as well. All right. That is going to we got to make one more pick, and I got to go back to Saints real quick. And our pick is the final Monday Night Football game of the season. This is where I don't force you to make a pick. The Los Angeles Rams are in Dirty Bird land to take on the Atlanta Falcons, who are playing their final 2 games of the year, both at home. They started with the Rams. The Falcons have nothing to play for. In essence, the Rams don't really have much to play for either, because they're not going to win the NFC West, and they're pretty much, I would think, locked into the 5 seed. They're 7-point favorites at Atlanta. Total's 49.5. Do you have a pick for tonight's game?
I don't have a pick. If I was forced to make one, which I'm not, I know, I would almost lean under 49.5 solely because you usually don't see 2 shootouts in primetime back-to-back. So just
That's
because
true.
Last night was such a thrilling game, I think this
That is
one
very
could be
true.
a bit of a snooze fest. But that's the only bit of analysis I have. I don't feel either way about this game.
Absolutely. What you say is often true, Gabe. Whenever you have a shootout, you usually get a low-scoring game the next night from Sunday night to Monday night, vice versa. But if you have a low-scoring game on Sunday night, you usually get a larger scoring game. We'll show some. I actually have a pick for this game, but I'm going to show a couple first, and it's going to prove my point. Tom, Rams 24, Falcons 14, which means he likes the Rams to cover the 7 points. Rocky likes the Rams to cover 23-14. And Charles, you are right. The United States turns 250 in 26. Although, show you how old, and I know some of the crowds here, I actually remember the bicentennial. That's how old Gabe wasn't even. His parents were kids. He wasn't even a gleam in his mother's eye in 1976, but yet I remember it. I don't know why I remember.
I love this discussion about the United States turning 250 because my friends and I always talk about this. I was a history minor. I know there's some other history buffs.
So was I.
How long will the United States last as a country?
Longer than we're alive.
Well, yeah, but everyone always loves
not by much though.
I was gonna say that the whole like sentiment around the U.S. is like greatest country ever. Like it's always gonna be around.
Don't start a fire. We didn't start the fire.
No, all empires fall. That's all I'm gonna say.
I don't think it's anytime soon.
No, neither do I. It's just a history.
Sugar Ray, Pam, and John.
Talk about.
I think well after my children are gone from the face of the earth. But I mean, you're right. No empire stays. Mm-hmm. That's true. All right. Yeah.
Politics, Charles, it's history. Not getting into politics at all.
That's a tinge that could be interpreted as political.
Yeah, it's not. It's
okay. All right. Let's see, it's starting to fire him up. All right, I do have a pick for this game, and I showed those 2 picks for a reason. Because I think that I did not look this up at all, Gabe. If you want to look it up while we're sitting here, feel free. But I think that the Rams are probably the squariest of square picks that we might have this week. And maybe not the squariest, but it's out there. And I love going me some anti-square. Look, I don't think either one of these 2 teams have anything to play for. Although the Falcons have been playing a little bit better. Drake London is back. The Rams just might take a flyer on this game. It wouldn't shock me if the Falcons won this game outright. If you square Ramy square
at BetMGM, the Rams are 7.5, and they are getting 73% of
the yeah, I'm going to take the Falcons.
Rams -7 is very square.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Falcons +7. Again, we use DraftKings because we stay consistent. We want to stay consistent. I'm not rooting for Atlanta.
For sure.
Rocky, calm down. I'm not rooting for Atlanta. I'm just telling you what I think is going to happen. And what I think is going to happen is I actually think this is going to be a close game. We've seen a lot of close games on primetime as of late. I think it continues. And I just, again, I think everybody's going to be betting on the Rams. And I think it's just easy to do that. So I actually might make I might bet more than 1 unit on the Falcons here. I really like the Falcons here. +7.
So
again, I probably might put a little bit of money line on them as well. So
I will close this discussion out by circling back around to your Saints talk at the end.
Yeah.
There's a lot of talk about the offensive rookie of the year race. If the Rams lose and Matthew Stafford doesn't look great after the performance that Drake May just had, the MVP discussions could really heat up going into week 18, which I don't think Drake May will play week 18. So
I think Drake May is going to win MVP. I know he's not the favorite right now.
I think he's currently like plus 1,000. So
is he?
Pretty good value.
Oh,
I'll check that. I'll check that.
I thought that went way down. I thought after this past week.
I know Stafford, when I looked this morning, was like minus 250. I'll pull it up on DraftKings while you talk Saints, and I'll let you know.
Okay.
I'll also give you updated Shough odds if there's anything on DraftKings.
Yeah, I saw it this morning. I didn't see it on DraftKings. I don't know where. Garland Gillen posted it, and I think they were from FanDuel, but I'm not 100% sure.
Drake May's plus 180 at DraftKings.
Yeah, see, I knew that.
That 230
changed.
Rookie of the year, Shough is plus 100. Tetero McMillan is minus 105. So the updated odds.
I think it's going to be Shough. I really do. Rocky says, by the way, but they won't beat us on Sunday, so Sunday doesn't matter. Atlanta can shuck it. That is going to be an interesting show on Friday when we do previews.
I saw the song for the first time on my TikTok feed this morning.
Gonna get shucked tonight. Tonight.
Yeah.
It is a catchy tune. Whoever did it, good for. I mean, that dude's getting his 15 minutes of fame. I don't even know who sang it, but whoever sang it's getting his. Well, even Shough sang it.
It's not so much 15 minutes of fame now, is it?
Yeah, well, you know what I mean. It's 15 minutes in your figurative sense, not in the literal world, jackass. Are you waiting for the daddies on Wednesday?
I'm excited.
All right. I will see you next on Friday. So happy New Year, my friend.
Likewise.
And look, before I let you go, I'd like to throw some shine on. We like to jar. It's sometimes it's unintentional jarring. Sometimes I'm not. Sometimes I think he's poking my buttons, but I don't know for sure. He's got a very underlying way of pressing my buttons. Knows how to do it without like making it obvious that he's doing so. But we could not. I'm telling you right now, and I said this before, but people have not heard this story. But back when I still had a job with the mothership, and Gabe was working with the mothership, and then Gabe got let go by the mothership. He asked to stay on and work for free, and he's been working for free ever since. He doesn't have to do any of this stuff. And 2025, all of 2025, Gabe got let go in October of 2024. I think that's the month, right? October of 24? Somewhere around there.
I think November 1st might have been.
All right, November of 2024. Oh, you might have got let go on October 31st as well.
I don't remember.
Don't get me started on that. That's dirty pool. By to let somebody go on October 31st is dirty pool. But I'm not gonna get into that. I'm not gonna say anything bad about the mothership because we don't burn bridges on this show unless you're just a numbnuts. But anyway, so Gabe has been working with me, helping me do things he doesn't have to help for the last 14 months for free. He hasn't got a single dime out of it, and continues to come back and continues to help me. And I can't wait to see what happens. And I hope that I find a way to at least throw you a few bones here and there in 2026, because I really believe that this show is going to make it and is going to make us some money, and is the year that's maybe changes things for both of us. Who knows?
Yeah, we're very excited for 2026 and all of the laughs with the Dat family that we're sure to have, and all the good times. And
who knows what you'll get.
I'm excited to. Yeah, I'm excited to get the Discord up and rolling.
Oh yeah, me too. Gabe needs a raise. Well, I mean, it's hard not. I can't give him a pay cut. I'm just saying that you cannot get a pay cut. UBN wants to know, should he retire and come on full? Now, UBN, you could finance us all. Just finance the show, and you can come on as many times, however many times you want. You can come on every show if you want, like Gabe. All right. Anyway. I just wanted to say thank you for everything, not just this year, just thank you for your contributions to the show. You are a part of the Daddies. There is definitely a segment of Gabe Henderson in the Daddies on Wednesday. You'll want to see it. And of course, you'll be a big part of the show in 2026, and I will see you on Friday.
Well, thank you. Likewise.
Happy New Year to Gabe and everyone else. So, I just wanted to throw that out there. It's important to say, not just because you're supposed to say it. I mean, y'all just don't realize Gabe does a lot behind the scenes. And at the end of every show, he gives me the chapters. He helps me come up with ideas. I bounce things off him. What do you think of this? And he's, when I go to and I need to bounce something off someone, he's the one that I bounce it off of. He's helped me how many times behind the scenes. He asked me, Gabe, look this up. He looks it up and he has it for me in 20 seconds. A lot of shows don't have that, by the way. Earl's Picks just hopes that Kyron Williams doesn't do much for his fantasy championship. I know somebody out there who may or may not be watching that is definitely rooting for Kyron Williams to have a good night. Earl's Picks also says it's not an empire, not going anywhere. Kyle Sherman, thanks to us and Happy New Year. No, thanks to you and every other member of the Dattitude regulars. Again, since we've gone independent and all the donations that we've received and all the support and all the love by the regulars, it really has been overwhelming. This is the last time I will talk to you live here in 2025. Again, the next live show is, in fact, let me change the slide here as we go out this morning. As you see there, the next show is Wednesday as we have our first annual Daddy Awards. It will be taped. You are more than welcome to comment on it. In fact, I would love for you to comment on it. Love to know what y'all think. And our next live show will be Friday, January the 2nd, 2026. So again, this is our final show of the year. But again, as we go off this last time, just to say, because I'm probably not going to say this Wednesday in the recorded show, but just again, it's not just the money. It's the love, the support, everything that we have received from our DAT regulars in there. It's getting close to, I used to say, we got a few regulars. I would tell them, I remember sitting I got this person's come back and this person's come back, and it's getting to where now we got a dozen. I think I got a dozen regulars. Now it's 20, and now who knows how many it is now. And when I do a short like I did yesterday, and this is not just some random thing, but when I did my instant reaction yesterday, and it had 15,000 views when I woke up this morning, of course, the 3 platforms that I do it on. That's not a random thing. That's how they pretty much all are doing now. They're all doing those kinds of numbers, 10,000, 15,000. One was 50,000. I did a short after the LSU lost to Alabama. But they're all getting those kinds of numbers. And that's where we're going. So to think of what we're doing from this year compared to where we were last year, compared to where we were when we started this thing, the show started in September of 2021, but we didn't go live on a regular basis until March of 2024. That seems like forever ago, and it wasn't even 2 years ago. But when we started this thing in March of 2024, the live show, and that's when most of the regulars began to come on. I remember when we got to 200 subscribers, and I thought that was a big deal. I mean, now our shorts are doing 15,000 views a short. It's awesome. Rocky, thank you for being a regular. Cheers to 2026, says Ryan. Absolutely. As Gabe says, thanks everyone. Happy New Year to everyone. S. Callie says she loves this show. That's why people keep coming back. And that's the thing, S. Callie. You know what is cool about this? It's not just the regular show up every now and then. No, they show up every show. Jody Alexander, much love to all. Absolutely. Lance, love this community. And Charles has been here since we started the Every Live show. So again, I just wanted to say not just thanks to Gabe, but thanks to all of you. Again, our final show of 2025. We are going to see all of you in 2026 live for our next show. It will wrap it up for us on Monday. I want to thank Gabe. I want to thank the Mano E Monday family as we do each Mano E Monday. And again, make sure you come back. I'm going to try to have the daddies up by 11 a.m. like I normally do. As I take one last sip here. However, I am way behind. If it may not come out until the afternoon. So I'm going to try to have it up for 11 a.m., but I'm not making a promise. I'm going on this afternoon. I'm going on a special Eric Asher show. For those of you from around the New Orleans area, you'll know the name Ken Berthelot. He was the voice of the Tulane Greenway for many years. He is guest hosting Eric's show this afternoon, and he asked me to come on for a full hour. So I'm going to be on for the full hour of 4 to 5 o'clock Central Time. We're going to talk about not only the Saints and probably a little LSU, maybe even a little Pelicans that I didn't get to today, and we're going to get to going forward. But we're going to talk about play-by-play. Kenny is a fantastic, just wonderful. He is a local underrated treasure in New Orleans. And again, to get a chance to talk to him for an hour, we're going to pick each other's brain on play-by-play. I'd love to do a game with him one day. Maybe I'll get a chance to. As we get a couple more. Thank you. This is the greatest pod ever. Thank you so much. Oh yeah, there you go, UBN. We have a new leader for the Pick'em crew. Had to get that out there. He wasn't saying that last week. He didn't get fired up about the new leader last week. Barry Hule, happy New Year to 2026. Rocky, of course, happy New Year. But so I'm doing that, and then tomorrow evening I'm going to record the final bet show for Thursday. So I will be on Thursday's final bet on Fox 8 with Garland Gillen, but we're going to record it tomorrow because he doesn't want to work on New Year's, and so that's going to take up part of my time. So again, the Daddies, I hope, is out at 11 a.m. on Wednesday, but it might be a little bit later. I know what will be at 11 a.m., and that is our next live show on Friday, January the 2nd. A reminder, if you haven't already done so, please, what are you waiting for? Subscribe to our Dattitude YouTube page. That's where the Dad family lives. Give us the thumbs up. Click the little bell to receive notifications. You can also find us wherever you get your podcasts, including Apple, Spotify, and many more. I hope you all have a wonderful, fantastic, and absolutely glorious New Year's. Don't shoot your eye out. We will see you live on Friday. Daddy's on Wednesday. Until then, take it easy, my friends.